Here is my interpretation of a fairy tale. The title is A Modern Prince. Franz was a lost young prince looking desperately for love. Somebody told him there was a girl who lived in the castle up the hill who fancied him. One day he pretended to lose the track while hunting and peeped in the windows of the castle. The girl came out with a pail in one hand to fetch water at the well some yards from the castle entrance. She saw him, but was playing hard to get. He was leaning on the oak tree straight in front of her. Was she blind? He thought, wow, she's gorgeous. Ink black hair and ghost pale skin. Does she ever have a walk in the sun? She wore a short rag dress, soon soaked wet, pouring water by mistake. She was even better so. The dress stuck on her body like skin. He couldn't stop staring at her protuberances. She screamed and ran inside, covering her nipples with her hands. After a while, a curtain moved. He threw a pebble at the window and a face appeared. "Come down," he called. After a sec, she was at his side. They had a long walk in the nearby forest. They talked, and she even laughed at his jokes. She said she wanted to be the lady of the castle, but her stepmother had ruled the roost and was quite crazy about it. He said he was a prince. She said she was a princess. Her name was Snow White. At dusk she had to go, but they made a date for the next day. The following day, he waited at the oak tree as arranged. Time passed, and he felt his feet growing roots. So he threw some stones at her window. Nothing moved. He went to the door and knocked. No answer. He banged and kicked at the door. Finally, a woman opened it. She was beautiful, with emerald eyes and deep red lips, but the wrinkles were moving in. "Yes," she said, winking. She had a hand on her luscious hip, the other leaning against the doorpost. Her long fingernails were painted red. "I'm looking for Snow White," he muttered. "She's away," she said, stiffening. "Never come back." She slammed the door in his face. What a nasty witch, he thought. He went back home and lay on his bed for days, sobbed. His mother couldn't do the chores properly and cuffed him every time she passed. After 2 weeks he realized he loved Snow White to bits. So he put on his boots and went out to look for her. He rode around the neighborhood for the whole day. He even crossed the forest where they had walked. It was getting dark when he came across the dwarf's cottage. It was empty. He wandered in and heard crying. Then he saw them. His beautiful princess lay in a glass coffin with the 7 dwarfs around her weeping. She was dead. Still smiling, still sexy. Her dark hair was arranged on the white pillow, her cheeks were pale pink, and her hands were crossed under her boots. What boots! Still firm and round like ripe melons. She seemed alive. A mad passion seized him. He kissed her. She answered his kiss. She was alive. They kissed again and again and again. He loved her, whatever she did with the 7 dwarfs. So they said goodbye to the dwarfs and went back home to his home. Along the way, there was one small problem. He had forgot to tell her that because of the credit crunch, they didn't live anymore in a castle, but had downsized in a council house with his mom and dad, grandparents, 3 sisters, and 2 dogs. She thought it was another of his jokes, till they arrived and saw his mom on the doorstep. "Where's the castle?" Snow White said. "Roll up your sleeves and go to the kitchen," answered his mom. "Forget fairy tales."